Tommy Milagro, live via remote, on location. What is going on?
First of all, I decided I had to brave the elements. I had to step out of my cardboard bunker and enter into Broovies proper in order to not only see real sports, not this bubble basketball bullshit. No, to see the real sports of professional wrestling, which we'll get into in the sports desk. But I am here to say that, thankfully, the whole world has not gone to shit because, yes, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is another TV Tam podcast. I am Tommy Milagro.
I'm Bill Frost, and it's episode, what?
0333.
That's
333 episodes of the TV Tam podcast.
We're halfway to Satan.
No, we're not quite to Satan levels yet.
We're halfway.
Just in limbo.
Doing the math. Halfway to Satan.
Yeah, we're in Winona Earp territory at this point. So that is how things are going to happen. So basically, the air is going to have to die before we get to really hellish levels here, ladies and gentlemen. So that's how things are running here. How are things over at the third basement of the TV Tam podcast studio?
Oh, doing fine. Just finished up watching the second episode. Tonight's episode, it is Sunday, so it is the second episode of Lovecraft Country.
Oh, okay. And there's still plenty of time for everybody to jump in to Lovecraft Country, which is still not racist. Well, it's very racist enough if we're going to judge it by Watchmen territories.
Yeah. So. I will tell you, when you do watch the second episode of Lovecraft Country, know that it is super action-packed, and you could very well mistake it for a season finale. It has had that much shit going on.
Bigger question, on a scale of 1 to episode 1 of United Shades of America, how super racist are we talking here?
Maybe not quite there, but there is wizardry involved, not of the Harry Potter variety, and there's a very excellent tune called "Whitey on the Moon" included in the episode.
Oh, okay, that's our title here, Whitey on the Moon.
Yeah. I'm sure it's being Shazammed to hell and back right now by people watching it. They also included a Marilyn Manson song.
Oh, seriously?
Here's how fucking weird the second episode Lovecraft Country soundtrack was. Okay. Included the Jeffersons theme, a Marilyn Manson song, and a really cool thing I'd never heard before, kind of a beat poetry thing called Whitey on the Moon that I was not familiar with. Yeah, so and that's the least of shit going down. So yeah, definitely check that show out.
In that case, maybe I need to rephrase my tone here. Instead of a scale of 1 to United Shades, on a scale of 1 to Twin Peaks.
You may be a little closer there, yeah. So, okay. What are we drinking? Who are we drinking?
Well, first of all, before I entered into Broovies proper, because I am a goddamn professional.
You pre-gamed?
We are enjoying one of the official OG sponsors of TV Tam Podcast, Sugar House Distillery.
Yay.
Silver Rum.
Okay.
And we mixed it up with a little coconut water because, nutrition. And now you got to take at least an ounce of the rum. Now, you should do it with a gold rum or a Jamaican rum, but really, Sugar House Distillery, go with whatever works. And plus, the silver rum on sale right now at their distillery proper for the month of August.
Cool. And all right.
Then you top it off with some coconut water, and then you need to garnish it off with a couple of wedges of lime and at least a sprig of mint. And that is a refreshing drink.
Sounds good.
But, it's very good. But right now, as we are broadcasting at Broovies satellite edition here, I am having a Bohemian Brewery Viennese, which, by the way, how are we doing on the pallets of Bohemian Brewery at your bunker?
We might be down to one pallet.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is an emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an emergency. Bill Frost needs pallets of Bohemian Brewery. Stat. Whoever is listening when it broadcasts, get the pallets of Bohemian Brewery. Stat. This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
I think I'll make it through the week okay.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Whitey?
Well, we'll see how the week goes.
Like how fucked up are things going to be?
Yeah, because things are already fucked up because we kind of started the weekend with the news that Drunk History has been canceled.
Hold that thought. This is not a drill. This
Yeah.
is not a drill. We need pallets of Bohemian Brewery flooding into Bill Frost's bunker right now. Dudes, don't look at me that weird. We need to flood Bill Frost's house with Bohemian Brewery. Stat.
But
Just play along with the Goots. It's all good.
It's not all bad news at Comedy Central though, because they also simultaneously canceled Tosh.0.
Drunk history is going to be the takeaway I'm going with this. This is not a drill. This is not a fucking drill.
Yeah, so here's what they're doing at Comedy Central. They're as one of my old corporate bosses would say, they're de-scoping on live action comedy and going all in on animation. So the other two, one of the Comedy Central's best shows, its second season will be moving over to HBO Max. Corporate ends this week, so that show will be no more. And so
no,
no, that show's no more.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Comedy Central's getting out of the live action game, except for Aquafina is Nora from Queens is still technically a Comedy Central show. So who knows what's going to happen with that?
Nora from Queens is still going, though?
Yeah, Nora from Queens is going. It's still a Comedy Central show, but I'm guessing if another season happens and they keep going this route, it might move to HBO Max as well.
You're just wanting me to drink more and more to get through this, aren't you?
So
that's what you're trying to say.
Just so you know, Comedy Central is becoming the Cartoon Network.
Unless Rick and Morty become live action, don't fucking care.
Just imagine
don't fucking care.
As far as I know, they're
because of what's his bucket that died, Summer Redstone. Is this some Viacom bullshit that they're trying to consolidate?
It is some Viacom bullshit. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with Sumner Redstone dying. It's just some corporate Viacom bullshit. But as far as I know, they're not going to start animating the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. I believe he will remain in place.
For now. For fucking now, but the minute he gets canceled, I'm just
the minute he runs out of hoodies. Matter. The minute he runs out of hoodies at home.
Yeah, but the minute he gets canceled, I'm just going to go South African Lives Matter. South African Lives Matter, which is SALM. So SALM doesn't work. We're working that.
Yeah, here also the Showtime, also under the Viacom corporate umbrella. They canceled Penny Dreadful City of Angels after one season. There will be no more of that.
I'm sorry. What was the name of that show again?
Pendejo Dreadful City of Angels.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Why were you speaking English? You know it's proper Spanish here.
I was speaking Whitey. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah,
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. W. Kamau Bell forgives you for that.
That has been canceled as well. If you were a fan of that show, I don't know who watched it. I didn't really hear a lot of people talking about it other than when it first premiered, and then the chatter kind of died off. So I don't know what the buzz was or was not around City of Angels, but apparently it wasn't enough.
Well, I think it was because of our faithful listener, Gustavo Arellano.
Sure.
He canceled that shit out easily.
Yeah. It was all his doing.
Yes, and once again, Hollywood, we've told you before, we'll tell you again, don't fuck up with the brown people. Don't ever do that. Just saying.
And yeah, it's also going to be a slow week on the TV box. Let me tell you what's new this week. Pretty much nothing. But here's something I will recommend to you. Tim Minchin's Upright, a series on Sundance Now. It's a streaming service. Like we needed another one. It wraps up its 8-episode season this week, and it's really good. It's about Tim Minchin. You may know him as a musician and actor and comedian who appeared quite famously in Californication and several other shows. He plays a kind of a failed musician driving from one end of Australia to the other, deliver an upright piano to his dying mother.
Oh Lord.
It's a dark comedy, but it's really good. And so I would after Thursday of this week, I would recommend doing a 7-day trial of Sundance Now for free and just binge it and then close out of that and cancel.
So are we saying to our faithful listeners of TV10 Podcast, the dozens that are still hanging in there?
All of them.
Are we telling them Sundance Now? Are we saying Sundance Now?
Yeah, now, but not later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sundance Now, but not later. Just try it out. Here's the most interesting thing happening this week, okay?
All right.
On Friday, on Hulu, a Vince Vaughn movie is dropping. That's not the exciting part. It's not old Droopy Eyes' big moment here.
I'm not sure that's the way to lead into this, but keep going.
It is called The Binge. It is a comedic riff on The Purge, to where an America where all drugs and alcohol are illegal, except for one day of the year when you can take everything you fucking want if you're 18.
No shit.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
And so this follows a group of teens who want to get in on a big binge party.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a teen comedy, and Vince Vaughn is, I believe he plays the principal of the American high school. That's the name of it.
I like this idea already, which is saying a lot because Vince Vaughn. Yeah,
so basically you live your life, one day a year the way Tommy Milagro lives pretty much every day.
Excuse me, sir. I only get drunk. I never partake of any hard drugs. Because, let's face it, they would kill me.
And you can't afford them.
No. I would just...
do we need to start a Patreon to get... Do we need to start a Patreon to get you some good drugs?
No, we don't need to do a Patreon. GoFundMe, on the other hand, is a whole different bag. And literally, we just need a bag of weed and or shrooms.
Yeah, so...
And or... What I'm saying is... We at TV10 Podcast do not endorse any drugs whatsoever. However, if you want to do a GoFundMe, we are totally fine with that.
Yeah, so go to our Go Drug Me page.
There's our title right now. Go Drug Me.
Yeah.
I'm typing that in.
Make sure you have
on the move.
Make sure you have your medical marijuana card ready so you can go through the drive-thru.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I gotta renew that sucker? God damn it.
Yeah, they don't just renew themselves.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
that's worse than having to be Tips and Sips certified in Utah.
Yeah, so, and the week ends up with, on this weird note, the 2020 MTV Video Music Awards on Sunday, August 30th.
Wait, hold up a second.
Still a thing.
First of all, music videos on MTV proper?
They still show them.
On MTV proper.
Not often, but maybe a couple hour blocks here and there during the day. Yeah, they do still show music videos.
When? At what time?
I don't know what fucking time. I just know they do.
We need a young person to really explain that because I don't buy this. This feels like Antifa, QAnon bullshit.
Is it both Antifa and fascist at the same time?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I just don't believe it.
That's the Republican stance. Okay.
Yeah. One of our listeners, tell us when these music videos on MTV proper.
I've seen them.
Not MTV2, not MTV Latino. When on MTV proper do they show?
I've seen these blocks. I've seen these blocks on MTV. I don't stay long, but I've seen them. They exist. Where they?
Yes, but you drink more than I do, so I'm just saying I need actual proof that doesn't come from you or me.
Well,
So,
they're playing these guest artists on the 2020 VMAs somewhere. They include Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, BTS, Black Eyed Peas, minus Fergie. She quit.
then like her brain got eaten because I saw that documentary Planet Terror.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. The Grindhouse documentary, the Planet Terror section of the movie. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that documentary too. The Weeknd, DaBaby. I know you're a big fan of DaBaby.
Well, who isn't?
Yeah, and of
And
course,
also, if this is a To Catch a Predator bait and switch here, because I'm telling you right now, I don't know what you're talking about. Prank caller. So.
yeah. Hi, I'm Chris. Why don't you have a seat here? Why did you bring Skittles and vodka to this teenager's household?
First of all, it was a toga party. That's what I was told. That is exactly. No, I'm going to exit the building right now. I'm exiting here. I'm hiding my face right now.
Well,
You can't
you're
see me,
totally
you can't
free to
see me.
leave. You're completely free to leave, sir. There are officers outside waiting to take you into custody, but you're free to leave.
I have lawyers. I have all the best lawyers. They know. They have the words. They have the best words of them all. So.
Yeah. So, that is your week there for any kind of news stuff. And don't really have any more news other than, yeah.
Well, first of all, let's
Yeah.
go back to the MTV video works, because I don't buy this bullshit of there's music videos on MTV anymore. And again, MTV proper, not MTV2, not any of their affiliates. No. So here's a little homework for all of our dozen listeners. Tell me when they actually show music videos, which you can reach out to us at TV10 Podcast on Twitter. Then, of course, there's TV10 Podcast on Facebook proper. And, of course, email us, tv10podcast@gmail.com. Tell me when the fuck you actually saw a music video. If you've got video proof of that, cool. Then we're good.
Yeah.
Until then, don't fucking buy it.
Yeah, you'll have to watch MTV. Speaking of sewage, I do have some a bit of news here about John Oliver. Apparently, John Oliver has something against the town of Danbury, Connecticut, to where I guess he said on a recent episode, "Fuck Danbury" for no apparent reason, or at least I might have missed that episode.
Last week tonight.
I might have missed that episode. What was his beef with Danbury? Does he have one specifically?
Just in the same way he has a beef with anything else, including WWE. Not really a segue here.
So he's just running out of targets.
Yeah, it was mostly just he was talking about jury duty and then Connecticut got involved because fuck Connecticut.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, and it just led into a whole thing on that.
So Danbury Mayor Mark Botten says John Oliver don't mess with Danbury. They've named the sewage plant has now been named the John Oliver Memorial Sewer Plant. Why? Because it's full of crap, just like you, John.
Oh, so basically this is like right up there with the koala testicular cancer ward in Australia.
Sure,
So,
yeah. So more monuments to John Oliver.
Yes. Now, the bigger question is, will he be donating Russell Crowe's crotch, leather crotch pad to them?
He absolutely should. He absolutely should.
Only because that would make things a bit unhinged. Yes, that was a bit of a segue there, but it absolutely fits.
So you must have some big sports news, so it must be time for that.
Oh, well, I will be happy to share all of that if you hit the music.
It's sports with Tommy Milagro. Go team!
From the sports desk of the TV10 Podcast, we deliver to you only the important sport of professional wrestling. COVID edition. So many things to talk about. Let's just jump right into it with New Japan Pro Wrestling. As we talked about before on the at the sports desk, they are back up and running. But more importantly, USA edition going strong. In fact, you can catch New Japan Pro Wrestling USA, where a lot of American wrestlers that used to wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling are going strong there. And this last episode, which you can catch on NewJapanWorld.com, which you can subscribe for only 999 yen.
Not a sponsor.
Konnichiwa, bitches. That's where you will see Kenta of the Bullet Club go up against David Finlay, the son of Fit Finlay, where Kenta won a tournament so that he can vie for the New Japan Pro Wrestling U.S. Championship, which is currently being held by John Moxley, which we'll come back to in a second here. And also a returning member of New Japan Pro Wrestling is Jay White. Obviously because of the COVID, because he's in the fabled land of New Zealand. I got my Lego mixed up there. Jay White is coming back to wrestle, at least for new NJPW USA. And that's going to be the best that anybody can hope for at this point, at least as far as American wrestlers wrestling for New Japan at this point. More on that story as it develops. Now, going back to New Japan, the USA title by New Japan is currently held by the AEW heavyweight champion, Jon Moxley, which they are still prepared to go all out. They're the AEW pay-per-view, which will be held on September 5th, which is probably going to be broadcast on the Bleacher Report, which you can catch for $49.99.
Not a sponsor again.
And just drink up, bitches. But what you should be seeing is AEW, because it's not on Wednesdays recently because of some stupid sport. I think it's called basketball.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
They're holding it in a bubble, and
yeah, I've heard of such a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you now, I'm bringing this up because they have their show on Saturday, so it was a Saturday night Dynamite, which I'll come back to in a minute. But on Wednesday night, this week is we are going live on air. They will be broadcasting on Thursday, the 27th. So be sure to tune in, or at least see it, set your DVRs properly for that. But this last Saturday, there were quite a few developments. Among them, Thunder Rosa, the current National Wrestling Alliance Women's Champion, issued a challenge to the AEW Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida, for the Women's Championship, which will probably be at All Out, which is really interesting because as of this recording, this is 3 members of the NWA that have moved over to AEW. I'm talking Ricky Starks. I'm talking Eddie Kingston, who was on both were on this recent development of AEW, and now Thunder Rosa. Very interesting development. How that's going to parlay into NWA, we just have to wait and see how that develops. But
I have an AEW question.
Break it down, sir.
It's not a very complex question. Where's Riho?
Riho is currently in Japan because COVID.
Okay.
That's really the reason behind that.
Okay.
Same reason that Pac is not in AEW because and here's the reason, and this applies not just to wrestling but outside of wrestling. even if those cats were to come into the United States, they would have to be, and then travel back. They would have to be quarantined for 14 plus days. So it does not make a whole lot of sense for them to travel at this point, unless
Okay.
they establish residence. Yeah, not a good idea at this point.
Okay, that answers my question. I was just curious. I haven't seen her for a while and heard nothing about it.
Yeah, and that's really the only reason behind that. But things could develop. One thing I will mention, the biggest development was during this last AEW, the American Nightmare, the Prince of Pro Wrestling, Cody, was putting up his TNT championship against the Exalted One, Brody Lee, and lost to the Exalted One.
Uh-oh.
So this is the first big championship for Brody Lee since leaving the WWE. Big win for him at this point, which now segues us to NXT. This last Saturday, they have their pay-per-view TakeOver 30, or XXX, if you will. And you can still catch that on the WWE Network for only $9.99.
Certainly not a sponsor.
And fuck you, Triple H, and drink up, bitches. Which is being still held at Full Sail Arena as part of the WWE Performance Center. Big wins right there. Big stories out of there. Among them, that Pat McAfee, the former kicker of the Indianapolis Colts, and apparently he's got a sports program somewhere because, you know, we at TV10 Podcast and Sports Desk don't deign with that bullshit.
Nah.
Went up against Adam Cole, baby, in a losing effort. However, got signed to a contract because of his promo and his ability to really go up against the one of the members of the Undisputed Era. And the big story is during the NXT Heavyweight Championship, which featured the Limitless Keith Lee against Karrion Kross in a very brutal matchup, which saw Kross win the heavyweight matchup. But the big story out of that, though, is that Kross had his shoulder separated. We have been trying to get our affiliates to find out how severe the shoulder separation was. No word on that yet. We're still working on that story as it develops. And then we move to WWE proper for a couple of stories. Number one, before we left off the air last week, Sonya Deville was involved in a kidnapping plot with a fanatic at her household. They caught the kidnapper, thank goodness. And as a result of this, during SummerSlam, she was faced to wrestle Mandy Rose in it was supposed to be a hair versus hair match, but it turned into a loser leaves town match, which saw Mandy Rose win against Deville. So let's be honest, she needs the time off because that would be a bit unhinging. Stop it, Russell Crowe. We mean it. And it should also be noted that SummerSlam, which as we were talking about live on air this Sunday, was being held in the Amway Center in Orlando in a, how they're terming it, as a Thunderdome, which if you watch SmackDown or if you're watching SummerSlam, it's basically in the arena, but with a lot of TV monitors showing actual WWE fans.
I saw that.
So
I saw some of that.
So on a scale of 1 to Zoom meeting, how would you rate that, sir?
It's like a Zoom meeting times 1,000.
Oh, it's like getting zumped over and over and over again. But the biggest story of this SummerSlam was not just the Mandy Rose matchup, and not the fact that the son of Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, got beaten by Seth Rollins. It was the big Universal Championship, Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, going in a brutal matchup, which saw The Fiend win the WWE Universal Championship, and also saw the return of Roman Reigns.
What?
Yeah, he returned back and put after the finish, proceeded to beat the living shit out of Braun Strowman and the Fiend Bray Wyatt, all the while wearing a shirt that said, as I'm going to my notes here, and I had to confer with my good men, the King of Burgers Goots, wreck everyone, and it was like wreck everyone and watch or something to that effect there. Very interesting how this will parlay into Raw or SmackDown remains to be seen, but it's good to see Roman Reigns back. I'm curious what this will develop. And finally this, from the files of Because Religion is Bullshit, Ted DiBiase Jr., the son of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, is getting his house repoed due to the IRS.
Oh.
Did you see this story about
No, I did not. No.
So, basically, and this has been reported in other affiliates, but the gist of it is this. Ted DiBiase Jr. is getting his house repoed because Ted's brother, Brett, according to WhatCulture.com, is alleged to have received money intended for state welfare programs for drug abuse classes and never took place. And it was revealed that Ted DiBiase Sr., the $1 Million Man himself, his Heart of David Ministries not-for-profit group, received $2.1 million from the same source, and the WWE Hall of Famer was personally paid over $84,000 as part of this, with Brett serving as an official for the Mississippi Department of Human Services. So Ted Jr.'s home got seized, and as a result, there is more investigation as to what else got scammed. My words, at the sports desk, happened because of this ministry. So, as we leave here, leave with this thought at the forefront of your frontal lobes. And I quote the $1 Million Man himself: every man has a price, including the IRS. Because it's sports.
And sports, a Tommy Milagro. Go team. All right.
So, once again, I'm just saying, not for profit, just be upboard, and more importantly, don't bring religion into this bullshit. Just saying.
Yeah. So, we're going to wrap it up here, and what would you tell people they should be watching harder?
Oh, man. Well, we talked a little bit about Winona Earp. Still a thing for the final season. I think that's a big one right there. And Lovecraft Country, haven't seen it yet, but it's locked and loaded into the DVR.
You will enjoy it.
Oh, and most importantly, because if you want to feel woke as fuck, then I highly recommend United Shades of America.
Oh, yeah.
Pair that up with Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
it's a good palate.
Apparently tonight's episode, W. Kamau Bell was looking into Venezuela.
Oh, yeah. And this is after they talked about reparations. So,
all right.
Yeah. This is going to be a little bit more easier to handle than reparations. I'm looking at you, Whitey. Yeah, you.
Whitey,
but
who happens to be on the moon, of course.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I'm also going to say, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've been watching a little bit harder. Right now in August, as you and I both know, it's a little hard to find good stuff, other than because I found out I still had Hulu.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I decided to watch Cowboy Bebop. So,
So that's what you picked, huh?
well, it was either that or Love in the Time of Corona. So,
Have you watched Palm Springs?
I have not yet. So, it sounds like I need to watch that. Huh?
Do it.
Okay, I've got that locked and loaded right now as we speak here.
And if you want your mind fucked, I'd also check out the FX series Devs on Hulu with Ron Swanson.
I don't know if I need my mind that fucked that hard.
It will do it. It will definitely do it for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want my mind fucked over in a David Lynch way. Maybe more in a Duplass way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe even in a Legion way.
Okay. I would recommend going back if you never watched it, or if you need a refresher, watch the first season of The Boys on Amazon Prime, because the second season is coming up in a couple of weeks here.
Oh, shit. Is it 2 weeks now? Is that right?
Yeah, 2 weeks and some change. I think it's September 4th is when the second season drops.
Motherfucker. Okay, yeah. That's a good reason to watch.
And, yeah. Also, thinking about maybe taking next week off. See, I'm on vacation from the Jorb proper this week, so I'm thinking, I might as well extend that to TV10. What would you have to say about that?
First of all, you still have a Jorb?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't have a Jorb.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, everybody knows, but why do you have a Jorb and I don't? I know the answer. I just want to hear it.
Got me. I don't know.
God.
It surprises me every day too.
So once again, even though I have an MBA, did I mention I have an MBA?
Drink up.
And why the fuck am I unemployed at this point?
Yeah.
As I swig down my lovely Bohemian Brewery Viennese to drown out the tears that are streaming down my cheeks.
Yeah, so
that's salty and good.
Yeah, so next week we'll take that off and we'll reconvene at a later point.
So I have at least a week to let my kidneys heal and my liver regenerate.
Well, you know that's how they get you. The hangover doesn't start until you stop drinking.
Oh God!
Remember the words of Archer.
In that case, let me do the Bloody Mary prayer. Bloody Mary, full of tomato juice, pray for me now at the hour of my death, which I hope is really soon. Glug, glug, glug.
There you go. All right, cool. So, we want to thank Sugar House Distillery this week for the rum, and who else do we want to thank?
Well, of course, we got to thank all our fine sponsors. That would be Sugar House Distillery, Outlaw Distillery, Ogden's Own Distillery, and, of course, Bohemian Brewery, as we mentioned. And we can't do all of this without our good friend Ivy, which, if you're in downtown Salt Lake, stop by at Boost Tea. Tell her TV10 Podcast sent you. But if you're going to enter any of these fine institutions, wear a fucking mask.
There you go. Yep.
Fucking troglodytes.
Well said.
I actually used a big word.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got an MBA. Drink.
Oh, God. We're just going to make everybody drunk at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for now. We'll talk to you at some point later. Good night, America.
And jiggle that handle because it's time to flush.
It's only me and my